come to you live today to unbox my new 12-volt fridge. Pretty excited about it. It just came in the mail. Didn't even know it was coming. I had just put it on my wish list, and Chuck sent it on over, which I am very stoked about. Very needed. Thanks, Chuck. But before I do, we're going to wait for some people to show up. We'll catch up. We'll say hi. Oh, I need a lighter. Also want to make sure you guys can hear me because I'm not sure. Also not sure why no one's in here yet. So that's interesting. We'll hang out for a second. See if anyone pops in, say hi. Maybe I set this up wrong. Pretty sure I set it up right. Hey, I got one like. That must mean someone sees it. Score. What's up, Mischief? Yeah, isn't that a score? Mischief says that's a score. Really, really is. You have no idea how useful this is going to be. Living in a van, not being able to preserve your food. Like, I can't even buy meat unless it's in a can or I'm going to eat it immediately. So now I'll be able to buy bigger portions of food and store it. It's going to be a game changer. It also motivates me to get my solar system set up. All my stuff is here in my friend's attic, in the attic of this house. And so hopefully in the next couple of days, we're going to build a little solar box. And the only thing I'll have to do is attach my batteries to it, and it'll be ready to go. The whole system will just be rocking and rolling. I have a whole bunch of stuff coming for the solar on Saturday, tomorrow. Once it shows up, I'll be able to build the solar. I'm going to do a video about it. You guys are going to come with me while I prepare the solar so I can get this fridge going, right? So I can use this fridge. I'm going to test it though, because even though I don't have my solar on the van hooked up, I do have this right here. I have a solar generator. Got two AC outlets, a 12-volt outlet, and all the USBs. And I think that will be enough power to run the fridge. We're going to test it out, find out. But right now I'm in town, obviously, and I've been camping out in the woods up at the mountains because it's a higher elevation. Right now here in Bend, it's kind of hot outside. And the houses don't have AC because it snows so much in the winter. It's mostly cold here, so there's no reason to have AC in most of the homes. So I'm kind of warm right now. It's not so great. But where I've been camping has been pretty awesome. It's packed in Bend. How's the smoke? Still have batteries, 100 amp hours. I have two 100 amp hour batteries, energy batteries, which I haven't tested yet. I don't know if they're good. They've been stored here for a while. They should be okay. But I'm gonna have to test them into the system. If they're not good, that's $500 of batteries that I'm gonna have to replace somehow. But in the meantime, I've got this 500 watt. This is called a Balder, whatever that says right here, right? It's like a Jackery knockoff. I have another one similar to this called a Gray Cell, and it's a 300 watt one. And then I also have another 300 watt Rock Pals one. But the Rock Pals one is like on its last leg. It's been through a lot. So these two replacements are pretty useful. I can run my 12-volt television. Right now I can run the whole van with what I have, but being able to just have more amp hour storage would be a lot better. So those two deep cycle batteries I have, they're AGMs, maintenance-free batteries. I've already got a spot in the van I'm going to put them. I've already got this whole plan in my head on how I'm going to hook the solar up, and I'm going to do a video about it. So you guys can see how you can build a solar system in your van. It's not that hard. You can do it in your RV. You can do it in your house. Just scale everything up. There's a little bit of math that I'm not going to get into on it. Basically, like Ohm's law and how to figure out your weight gauge of wires that you're going to need. But that's okay. We can still get it done. You can see how all the parts work. You can see why we put this part here, that part there, and find out exactly how to make a solar system in a vehicle or RV or even on a shed out back of your house. Sweet, they were nice battery packs. Yeah, I do like this one. This 500-watt one. My only complaint about it is if you look, it's supposed to have wireless charging on top, and the wireless charging isn't working. So I was considering they have those. You can get them at Walmart or Amazon. Those just circular plates, the wireless plates that have a cord that go into it. And I was thinking about just gluing one to the top of this, on top of that one that doesn't work anymore, and then having another one on there and just running the cord down into the outlet. We'll see. I was thinking about doing that though. 500, that should do it. Yeah, each battery that I have, the AGM's 100 amp hours, were $250 a pop. So it's $500 in batteries. But I think that they're fine. Like they self discharge, and I think that they should be okay. I just probably have to recharge them. So they still good. I have AGM 3 years old. After upgrades, still start my truck. Yeah, I ain't worried about it either. They're maintenance free. Should be fine. Should have. If they were discharged too much, then they might be damaged, but I don't think they were. I think I stored them at like 12.5 or something, so they should be okay. But don't forget to smash the like button, you guys. And don't forget to check out my wish list. Right now I've got like a bunch of snacks on there because I got stoned. And then I was like, oh yeah, Amazon has chips and snacks. So I threw a bunch of those on there. And then I also have like those dehydrated meals, the ones that you just add water, like the backpacking meals. Those would be pretty useful right now because food's expensive. Like I know you guys are all feeling the crunch. I know everyone out there is. Like, consider, when was the last time you went out and spent $100 when you went to the store to get food? Think about how much food that got you. See, I can only afford to do that 10 times in a month, and that's if I only bought food with my income. So food ends up being expensive. That's the thing that's been killing me lately, is the price of food, and that's silly. Food shouldn't be so expensive. There's my rant. If you guys want to check out my wish list, there's a bunch of cool stuff on there that would be pretty useful. If you try to get this, there we go. And if you want to donate, all my links are in the description of this video. You guys want to see this fridge? You guys ready to see the fridge? This temp becomes normal, may rethink some shit. Fridge, game chiller, hit up food boxes, no. Shame, it's like shopping now. Yeah, I ain't ashamed of going to get food. Like they've got some pretty good organizations out here that I can get food. Now that I have a fridge, that's what you said, game changer. Yeah, it is a game changer because I can go to those food banks and I can get food that I could put into a fridge. It doesn't have to go bad. Like I don't have to eat it that day. A lot of the food they give you is useless if you don't have a fridge. So I still end up buying my own shit. You'd use coupons that many. I have my ex-wife was a crazy coupon lady that like would just get a whole bunch of stuff and pay like 12 cents for it. I was never very good at it, but I do have like apps for every grocery store, every convenience store, gas station. I try to use every coupon I can. Can't of food, $5 loaf bread. You're crazy. Yeah, you can't afford food. $5 for a loaf of bread. It's not. Yeah, like think about it. When was the last time you went and spent $100 to get food? What was that, like 3 days worth of food? Like realistically, 4 days, and that's if you have a fridge. For me, it's a little bit different. I got to get like a lot of canned stuff, or like dehydrated meals are pretty good. So I just boil water, and that's all I need. But now that I've got a fridge, you guys, now that I got a fridge, I'll be able to get food, and I'll be able to store it. So you guys want to see it? You guys ready to see this? Okay, so my first complaint. Um, right here on the top, it says this side up, inverted, fragile, handled gently. Right. When this showed up, it was in another box, and they packed it upside down. It went in upside down, so it was like a box in a box, like a Russian nesting boxes. But they shipped it upside down. The label was on the bottom of the fridge. This box was upside down in the other box. But then I saw like that damage on it, and then this corner, like obviously got dropped on this corner right here. You know, that got dinged up. But this hole also, right? That hole right there. So that's how it got shipped. But I just stuck my finger in there. You can totally feel styrofoam. I'm sure they packed it inside just fine. Hopefully it's okay, because this came from Amazon on wish list, and sometimes that can be a pain in the ass to like replace. So we broke. If it cost a nickel to shit, I would have to puke. Oh, we're so broke. If it cost a nickel to shit, we'd have to puke. That took me too long to read. Yeah, that's pretty funny. I get that. I'm broke too. Let's stand upright. 25 hours should be good. Fingers crossed. Yes, you procured a fridge, you guys. I sure did. I got a fridge. Big shout out to Chuck, who's always hooking me up, man. He has made my nomading adventure for the last year like so much easier after my van blew up. Like, Chuck is the man. So let's break into this, yeah? You guys can still hear me, right? I'm wearing my lapel mic today. Like I said, they packed it in styrofoam. Hopefully shipping it upside down wasn't a big deal. And my friend's house I'm staying at is a bit OCD, and he's letting me do this in his living room, so I gotta make sure I clean up every speckle. And yes, today speckle is a word. Speckle's a word today. All right, you guys, you ready for this? I can see it. You can't. Let's pull this out of here. Okay. Come on now. Oh, my back's too old for that. Okay. Oh my God, there's styrofoam everywhere. Sorry, Ben. I know you're probably gonna watch this one day. I'll sweep it up. But check this out, you guys. Oh, by the way, I got a new hat. Isn't that cool? All right. I don't see anything else in the bag, but boom. I'm guessing there must be stuff in here. Oh, it opens like that. Okay. Let's check out what's in the box. What's in the box? Ow, fuck. You gotta watch your fingers when you close this. That fucking hurt. That pinched the hell out, actually. That really pinched the shit out of my finger. Your back hurts just watching it. Yeah, actually, my back's not. That wasn't fun. Okay, so looks like all the charging cords we have for this, right? That's for 110 AC power. Hooks into the surge protector. And then the other side goes into the fridge. And then we have the same end that goes into the fridge, but with a 12-volt plug, which I might buy another one of these, cut this piece off, put a fuse, whatever fuse they have inside of that, and then wire it straight into my batteries on the switch. Actually, there's a power switch on here. There's a whole display right here. So I might just wire it straight into my battery, buy another one of these, cut it, straight wire it into my batteries, and then have this as an option for when I'm on shore power. We'll see what happens. In the meantime, I'm going to plug this thing in. Right here, my Alpy Cool. We make you feel cool. Well, they're right. I feel pretty cool. I had that other 12-volt fridge. You guys might remember if you've been watching my channel long enough. I had one a while back. I got it for $50 off Amazon Marketplace or with Facebook Marketplace, and it worked for a long time. But eventually it crapped out on me, and it wasn't that good. It really wasn't that great. So now I've got this though. And it also is going to motivate me, like I said earlier, to build my solar system. I will be doing a video about that, building my solar in a van. So be looking forward to that. I'm almost done with the Olympic Peninsula, wrong peninsula, the Upper Peninsula of Michigan videos. So time to smoke one. Coleman one, use it for dry goods now. Yeah, my Coleman one crapped out. It was like $50, man, but I used it for like a year and a half. I used it for a while. I got my $50 out of it, but then I was pretty much dead set on I wanted a good fridge. And I don't know what this one can do yet. We're going to find out together, you guys. But I got my battery on top of the fridge, and I really want to show you how much power this actually takes. And I'm going to try them both, okay? I'm going to try first the 12-volt, which this is 12-volt direct current, right? This is what most solar systems operate off of until you install an inverter, which turns it into alternating current. But we're not going to use that right now. We're going to use this one. This is how you would charge it driving in your car. If you ever use this driving in your car and your outlets are the type that are always on, be careful. You can kill your battery. Don't turn on fridge yet. I'm not turning it on yet. But why not? Chill, bro. I literally hear you. Why are you freaking out, Mischief? Let it sit level for 25 hours. Why is that? It does have a drain plug at the bottom too, you guys, which actually I'm going to find that to be very useful. I don't even like buying coolers that don't have a drain plug. Has compromised, turned upside down. Well, if it's compromised because it was turned upside down, then we'll have to figure out how they're going to fix it because they got shipped with a bunch of damage. And this live stream will be the evidence. That is with old fridges and new ones, you don't really have to. That's kind of what I was figuring. We're going to try it. We're going to try it together. It's 2024. Maybe they fixed that problem. And I think that was with Freon. Correct me if I'm wrong. First, I got to find out where to plug this in at. Oh, there it is. It's right here on the side. So, like, there's the side of the fridge. There's the digital display. And then there's the plug right there. My Coleman, it was the type that if you plugged it in one way, it would make it cold in there, and if you plugged it in the other way, it would make it hot. All right, so are you ready? There we go. You guys can see it, right? DC outlet's on. We'll keep it off. Turn it on. Fridge beeped. Uh-oh, it exploded. It's on fire. Actually, it just beeped, but nothing's on right now. Let me turn it on, though. There we go. Okay. It says 76 degrees. Whoa, negative degrees. Oh, we can turn it down to negative degrees. Why would you ever need to be at -4 degrees? Okay, so that's cool. Does anyone actually know what temperature fridges are supposed to be on? Like 34, right? Like 34 to like 38. Yes, I could do both, freezer or fridge. But I don't know what temperature either one's supposed to be at. 43. 43, that seems warm. $69. Well, it's currently at 81 degrees because it's summer. But this is what I was actually excited about. Looking at this, I don't know how well you can see it, but it actually shows you how many watts is being used. Like I said, I don't know if you can actually see it. Maybe it's better like that, huh? Anyways, up there in the top corner, right over here, it's saying 26 watts. So 26 watts. That is not that much. That isn't that much at all. I'd have to do the math because I've got 200 amp hours, but I feel like I could run this fridge for days on 200 amp hours. Plus, this battery, I believe, is like, I want to say like 80 amp hours, 60 amp hours, something like that. And then I have another one that's like, I don't know how many watt hours it is. It's like 20, I want to say it's 20,000 watt hours. So could run it for almost like at least a day. Dude, yeah. Let's see what everyone's saying about the temperature. Your van looks huge at this angle. Yeah, doesn't it? I'm at my friend's house, Cote. My van is out in the driveway. I've got, oh, by the way, speaking of the van, you guys, I've got an appointment. I thought it was today, but it's tomorrow for tires on the front of it. $200 it cost me to get new tires for the front. I'm still going to need some on the back eventually. And then it's, dude, when I need Dave to look at my van, I need Dave to swing through Central Oregon and check out my van because when it's in neutral, it idles just fine. But when I put it in drive, it's like, the whole thing, it vibrates. It's like idling really, really hard. And I'm not sure what it is, but yeah, it's still only at 28 watts. That's insane. I wonder if it'll stay that way. I wonder how long it'll take to cool down also. Doesn't, what do I do here? Oh, there's buttons on here. I love pushing buttons. What does that say? It says max. The setting button. Oh, eco. There's an eco mode. Yeah, it's either eco or max, it looks like. Oh, and there's a USB port. I just noticed this, you guys. There's actually a USB port on the fridge, so you can charge off of it, I guess. That's cool. I could find some uses for that. I could also test to see how much current goes through it. Okay, now it's at 29. I put it in eco mode and it went up. So that's interesting. It says 12.7 volts on there. So I'm not sure if that's how many volts it's using or if it's also telling me how many volts are in the battery. I'll have to read up on the owner's manual about that. But the fridge, it says 12.7 volts. So it's either telling me how much juice that my battery has, or it's telling me what it's operating at. Not really sure. But I will read the owner's manual and I will find out. This is the type of fridge, since it's got no internal battery, you would be able to use a square wave inverter for this, like one of the cheap ones off of Amazon. And it would, I mean, this thing's only taking 30 watts. I bet you it maxes out at like 60 watts, but that's not, you can use a 500 watt inverter and run this. Let me take a look. Eggs will freeze too. At 32, eggs will freeze. 30 is freezer. 32 will freeze. 40, Sears said. Sears says 40. Well, Sears went out of business. So we're going to do 38 because Sears failed. But it's still at 81 degrees. I don't know. I'm going to take it out of eco mode, though. Put it back into max. And I guess we'll see how long it takes to get cool in there. I'm really curious how many days I could run it off of just this battery. Because I'm planning on my solar recharging my deep cycle batteries and this at the same time. So I think I could pull that off with the wiring and everything works out. It should be fine. But I'm not really sure. You know what I mean? If it'll be enough juice. Oh, now it just jumped up. It just jumped up to 44 watts. That's like twice. I told you it maxes out at like 60. It just jumped up to 44 watts. Yeah. So, okay, so it's a little bit more than 20. I bet you that 20 is just like it's coasting. And then it pops up to like 40 watts, which is still not that much. 40 watts ain't that much. This might be the highest, aside from my computer. I have a little mini PC, but this might be the highest wattage consumption. My PC, I think, takes like 100 watts. And this battery can provide 500 watts at a time. And so I'm not even like, right now I'm using 3 watts charging you guys, my phone, and I'm using 45 watts charging everything else. So, and I can hear the fridge going. Here, I'll move the microphone down there and you guys can hear that, right? Yeah, dude. Kind of like this fridge. All right, then. I want to see how long it takes to get cool while we chat and be cool. And then I'll, by the end of the, right now, when we're starting, it was at 81. Now it's at 80 degrees. Right. So we'll keep our eye on that and we'll see how long it takes to get to temperature. I set it to, let me see where my battery's at on my phone. I set it to, I think 38 degrees. So it shouldn't be cold enough to freeze, but I don't really drink milk anyways. But I do want to preserve my eggs in it. have cold coffees if I want. And then after that, I'm going to test it with this to see how much power it takes with that. And figure out which one's more efficient. And I'm assuming that the 12 volts is going to be more efficient. That would be my guess. Off of that battery. Yeah. Also, you guys, an update for you about Zag. Zag's got an appointment tomorrow to get a bath, and afterwards, I'm going to be giving her some of this because back in Reno, she started itching, and it's unlike her to like scratch her back. If you scratch her back and her leg shakes, that's not normal. And she's been doing that a lot lately. So I figured maybe she's allergic to something. She has fleas or dry skin. So tomorrow I'm taking care of the dry skin. She's going to get a bath, and then I'm going to put some flea treatment on her. And hopefully the itching goes away. Oh, I got so many comments to catch up on. I don't know why these weren't even popping up. I was wondering where you guys were. My Jeep would shake at 50 miles an hour, and it was the tie rods. I've already replaced the tie rods. I've replaced everything. The entire front end is brand new. Tie rods, fucking U-joints, the entire suspension, the whole thing is brand new in the front end. Brakes. The only thing I haven't done is tires, which is also getting done tomorrow. I'm going to have a busy day tomorrow. Run a fan. I do have fans. They're in the van right now, actually. Yeah, I would say 38 sounds good, depending on if you open and close to let the cold air if it's in the sun. I use portable panel, park in the shade, 200 amp hour, run that a while. Yeah, I have portable panels too. I've got some really, really long cables. I think they're only going to be like 20 feet. So I can put the panels out in the sun and park in the shade and just have like an extension cord for the panels. I would still like to put some solar panels on the roof one day. But before I do that, I want to get a DC to DC charger. So that way when I'm driving, I can recharge my batteries. That's definitely on my wish list. But that's going to be a little bit pricey, not just for the part, but the wiring. You got to reuse real thick cables for that. So too bad you can't hook a solar panel to it outside. I can hook a solar panel to that battery. That battery I have a solar panel for it. Asked Nomad Solar how to hook it up. He did mine efficiently. I'm going to be hooking up my own solar system. I've got everything to do it. I know how to do my own solar. Once in hit temps, it draws less. High temps, yeah. That's 6 hours of runtime. So I have 200 amp hours, and that's not 500 watt. I don't know how many amp hours are in that battery that I have, but my 200 amp hours, that'll be more than 6 hours at 40 watts. You're thinking of, that's watts and amps. Like I have 200 amp hours, and that thing only uses 40 watts. Yeah, it's a cool fridge, cooler. Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, the outside temps are hot, but like I said, where I was camping, where I am camping, it's like much cooler than where I'm at right now. Use a 100-watt port, runs in my fridge all day, no problem. Hey, Sharon, thanks for that donation. I just got your Cash App. I appreciate it. That's a good time to mention. You ain't got to be a baller to donate $1. Someone mentioned a Jackery. I don't mind Jackeries, but they're kind of expensive for what you get when the knockoff brands do just as good, and it's the same thing. In fact, I know how to make these myself. Would you guys buy a solar generator, which is what they call these? Would you guys buy a DIY one that was made like in like a case, like a plastic gun case, but it was actually had outlets on it and stuff, and then you can get panels for it and plug it in? Would you guys buy something like that, or would you rather spend the money to get something a little bit more? Because when I build my solar, I'm going to show you, I'm building everything that's inside of one of these inside of my van. That's all it is. It's the same thing. But in my van, it's going to be a bigger scaled up size. You get bigger bang for your buck. And then this one's a different company, and it does pretty good too. Right now it's running at 45 watts. Plus with my phone plugged in, it was like 48, I think, 50. So right now it's at 75 degrees. In that little bit of time, it's dropped 5 degrees. So it's 75 inside of the fridge right now. The reason that they make these, by the way, fun fact, the reason they make these as a chest where the top opens instead of like your fridge in your house is because it's more efficient, right? Like hot air rises, cold air falls. Cold air is more dense than hot air. So when you open up the chest freezer, all the cold air kind of hovers in there and stays in there. But when you open up your fridge at home, all the cold air just dumps out into the kitchen. And when you close it, it's got to get back to temperature. It's got to use all that energy again to get back to temperature. They used to make the condensers on fridges on the top of the fridges, which makes way more sense because then the cold's going down. But they've changed that since the 50s and 60s. Four X's, that's 200 amp hours, 24 hours nonstop. Yeah, you got to make sure you're also converting watts to amps, not just like 200 amp hours. How many watt hours is that? And then at 40 watts, you can figure out how many hours you could run that, which I don't want to do the math right now. But if anyone knows the equation, I could do it. If anyone wants to send me the Ohm's law equation, we could all do it together and figure out 200 amp hours. How many watt hours is that? Like, for example, I've got this battery pack right here, right? Right now it's at 29%. I was charging it. But right there on the side, it's got 60,000 watt hours. Watt hours, not amp hours. My other batteries have 200 amp hours. The 200 amp hours is more than 60,000 watt hours. But yeah, 225 watts at 60,000, I'm sorry, not watt hours, milliwatt hours. So that's 6,000. How many is that? That's milliamp hours. So 60,000 milliamp hours. Was that 6 amp hours right there? I wonder. Now I gotta do the math, but I don't know Ohm's law off the top of my head. I could just, it's like volts over amps equals watts or some shit like that. It's pretty simple math, but I use a 100-watt port, runs my fridge all day, no problem. It seems like I might not even need that much, although I do want to, it's in max mode right now too. So I'm going to go over here and check it out. I think you guys can still hear me on the microphone. I got my phone plugged in right now, but it's at 45 watts. That's all it's using, and it's at 72 degrees, right? Like that's pretty good. I'm gonna enjoy this fridge, and then I'm gonna warm it up. Once it gets to temperature, I'm gonna warm it back up, and I'm gonna plug it into the AC. I'm gonna find out how long it takes and how much energy it takes. I have a 2,000 watt inverter for my solar, so if it's only taking 50 watts, then I'm fine. I got plenty of energy. By the way, I'll show you what I'm smoking. Let me grab them real quick. I love this lapel mic because you guys can still hear me. So one of my currently favorite brands for weed right now is these Benson Arbors. I got this 7.2 grams. It's almost a quarter for, I want to say this was like $30. And it had 12 joints in it. It's these ones, like these are like my favorite type of rolled joints. You know, they've also got the ones where you could buy I've got some right here to show you. You can get these, you could pack yourself. right? But for whatever reason, these ones are always a little bit more consistent. Sharon says, I think I want to learn math now. Sharon, when I do my solar video, so I'm going to be, now that I've got a fridge, I'm totally motivated to hook my solar up. I'm hoping to do it in the next couple of days. I'm just going to build a solar box. I'm basically going to make a big version of this, a much bigger version. But all the things that it has, my solar system is going to have. And I'm going to do a video about it. I did a video on my solar system a while back, but it was like a very simple, basic solar setup. This time I'm going to have some fuses in it, and I'm going to have some circuit breakers, and it'll just be a little bit safer. And then you guys can really see how it all kind of ties together. And then you'll see how I'm going to put it into the van. So I like math. I've always enjoyed math. In school, that was always an easy A for me. So I do be loving some math. Run the 8 amp micro fridge, 120 volt off my inverter, 200 amp hour AGM, no problem. You can run a house power. You have almost simple way, 500 watt, cut in half, 250 watt, draw 40 watt, get 6 hours. Yeah, I mean, I've got that 2000 watt. That'll be plenty, because I'll be using more than just the fridge off of it. I've got a computer, and I've got like a PC that I run, but it's like a miniature PC, and I run like Home Assistant on it, and then I want to make some automated stuff going on in the van. I received this cool ass Nomadic Zig sticker the other day. Now I have a reason to wash my car. Critter, thanks for buying a sticker from me. I really appreciate that. I have one sticker that Chuck gave me, but I don't even own my own merch, if we're being completely honest. And I'm not that good at making a merch store. I've been kind of intimidated by it because I'm not a graphic artist or anything like that. But I would like to increase the stuff on my merch store. And I don't know if anyone out there has like the know-how or wants to help out with that somehow. At least teach me how to do it. That'd be cool. But I would like to increase my merch store, because that, I think, would be a lot of fun. I want to make a Miles of Smiles merch line. I want to make a Bottle Kids merch line. And the Bottle Kids merch line, any of the Bottle Kids stuff, I want to make sure that we figure out a way that the Bottle Kids could get it. If there was enough of it, like, I want them to have all of it, because they were really the stars of that show. I can't wait to see your new battery. It's actually my old batteries, Sharon. I've got my two 100 amp hour deep cycle batteries. They've been at my friend's house since I pulled them out of Vanagon. And Vanagon's gone now. May he rest in peace. But I've got all of the solar off of Vanagon, except for the solar panel that I had on top of Vanagon. There was no getting that off. It was glued up there. I want to put a solar panel on top of this van, but in the meantime, I have those folding solar panels, and I've got 250 watts of solar. So that should be plenty for my 200 amp hours. That's actually more than I had on my last solar system. Yeah, Renergy is good batteries. I've got one Renergy and then one knockoff brand, but it's a generic Renergy. It's the same chemistry inside of the battery. A while back, I was staying up in Torrance in Los Angeles area, and I did a whole video of me putting the solar system inside of Vanagon. So I'll basically be doing that again, but inside of this van, and I'll be doing a much simpler version of it. I have your sticker, Cause sticker, Dave Lowe's sticker, waiting on Angie to send me one, and Jeepsy should be on its way. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I'm glad that I beat Jeepsy on your list of stickers. Only running 200 solar on top of 100 port. Yeah, that makes sense. What was that, Amazon? I'm not expecting anything till tomorrow. But I should have basically all my solar stuff showing up tomorrow. All like the rest, I've got some cables coming in for my panels, so I can run my panels from farther away. They can charge everything. And then I need to test my batteries to make sure that they have to be like the same voltage, right? They can't put you don't want to put 12.2 batteries in with 12.7 batteries because they won't be balanced. So you want to make sure the cells are balanced. So either you discharge them all the way and then hook it up, or you charge them until they're fully charged at whatever that fully charged battery is supposed to be. Each battery is different. Each chemistry is different. Lithium ion is full, different number than AGMs, different number than gel, different number than flooded. So you gotta figure out the chemistry of that battery, but the manufacturer specs will have all that. We're gonna put solar together next time, guys. I guess this live stream's boring people because there's only 9 of you in here. But I'm stoked about my fridge. Y'all can suck it. Power station charging while driving, yes. So there's 2 ways to do that. So right now, these basically Jackery knockoffs, these aren't Jackeries because they're a different brand, but these Jackery knockoffs, I can charge them while I'm driving. I've got 2 different 12-volt plugs in the van. I've got 2 different chargers in the van, so just plug them into the outlets while I'm driving. They're charging. I can do that. I would also like to charge my deep cycle, my AGM batteries while I drive, which is going to take another device and to hook it up and everything. It's a DC to DC charger. They got different amperage ones. 20 amp is fine with me. That's going to be plenty. 40 amp would just charge it faster, but it doesn't really matter. I would like to hook that into my system also. I just don't know when that'll be. It's all going to take like money. But right now I've got 200 on tires I'm spending tomorrow. And then I had to spend about 200 to get all this stuff for my solar system hooked up proper. And that kind of basically leaves me with, I got to be very careful this month on how I spend, because I don't have a lot of wiggle room and income. So I'm just trying to get the van running right. And I've still honestly got to get my van registered in Oregon. And I have my driver's license is going to expire on my next birthday, which is in January, which means I got to replace my driver's license while I'm here too. So I'm going to have to get some money together to get the van registered so it could just be completely above board. Right now I'm driving on expired tags, but I'm hoping that I have insurance. And if I explain to the cop, like, look, this thing wasn't even driving, wasn't drivable when I got it. I just spent thousands of dollars to get it driving, came up here waiting to get paid until I can get it registered. We'll see if they give me a break, but it does need to get registered. At the very least, I could run down to the DMV and get temporary tags. I might even be able to do that online. I'll have to take a look. Stay self, keep it that way. 30 amp Renergy DC I have, standalone one. Yeah, that's what I want. The Renergy systems have been, dude, I like Renergy. They've been pretty solid for me. Like, I got no complaints. Some people, actually, that's not true. I don't like their app. But Renergy makes, like, the app that the Bluetooth module that you like log in and you can see how your solar is doing. They have, like, it's just so, I think it's bad. Dave seems to like it. I think it's bad. But they have another module you can put in. It's got a digital display. And I'm kind of curious about it. It's essentially a battery monitor, a shunt, so you can monitor your batteries. I want to put that in and use that. So I want to get, there's some things for my solar I don't have yet. A shunt is one of them, with a battery monitor on it, so I can see how many amp hours are left in the system and see the temperature of the system and all that. And then, like I said, panels on top of the roof. I want to get some fans around the van that wire into the solar. I want to get some lights around the van that wire into the solar on switches. This is all going to be cheap stuff, but it like nickels and dimes you when you're setting all this up. Critter says, I picked up some gastropop. It smells and tastes like I'm eating Fruit Loops. I don't know what that is. Is that like to help your guts when you eat? I got a 12-volt U-Hummy fridge for my camping trips. It's awesome. Hey, what's up, Indrid, by the way? It's good to see you. Yeah, this is the second fridge I've had. The last fridge I had was like that $50 Coleman I got off Marketplace, and it was absolute crap. It was garbage. This one, I don't even remember how much it is, but it was a much higher quality than that Coleman one. That Coleman one, it shouldn't even exist. They should be embarrassed to have their name on it. But it's Coleman. You know, they make RVs. Don't seem to mind how shitty those are. Uh, Coleman used to mean something. Back in my day, Coleman used to mean something. But this one's an Appy Cool, and it's cooling down, you guys. It's at 52 degrees at 45 watts. Still using just 45 watts. Is at 52 degrees. That's sick. And my battery, I don't know if you guys can't see it, but it's still at 99%, 98%. Actually need glasses, so I know it's one of those two. I'm finding it hard to admit as I get older that I'm getting older, but I'm supposed to wear hearing aids, but Zag ate them, like she chewed them up. And my eyes are going, like, getting worse and worse. I'm noticing it. So, I don't know. I'm getting old, you guys. I got some other big news. I haven't shared it very publicly yet. My friends know. I might wait until my next live stream to tell you guys, but I got some other pretty big news. Like, some of the people close to me know about it. And some don't. So I should probably let some of the other people know about it first before I tell you guys. But I will tell you soon. Just know there's some big news happening in my life pretty soon. And I'm looking forward to letting everyone know. But there's a couple people I should probably get a hold of before I let fucking YouTube know. So sorry. Bridge 12.7. Is that the you have Rover? It tells everything, no Bluetooth. I have Rover, tells everything, no Bluetooth. You're talking about the shunt, right? Like the digital display that monitors your batteries. Yeah, that's definitely what I need. Renergy makes one too, and then there's one at Home Depot that I saw online. I haven't been down there, but they had one that looked like it did everything that I wanted it to do, but it was almost $100. So it's kind of disheartening when the good ones are $100, because then it's like I can only spring for a certain amount every month, and even then I probably shouldn't. I should probably spend my money on food and surviving, but every once in a while it's like, you know what? No, I need solar, and I need my solar to be safer. So I just spent $200 on fuses and wires and all this shit. And I hate being poor. Being poor is expensive, you guys. Like, fun fact, being poor is expensive. It's the most ironic thing I think I've ever said. Irony cracks me up. You guys aren't that chatty today. What is everyone smoking on? Talk to me. Tell me what's up. Being poor sucks. I don't know. Like, it's not always bad, but you do give up some creature comforts. There's definitely some creature comforts that you're like, I wish I had those, you know. But at the same time, they come with such a cost. Like, food is a good example. Like, I don't. The fact that, like, people can't eat healthy when they're poor blows my mind. We should be able to provide. Like, we're the richest country in history of Earth. In the history of Earth, we are the richest, most powerful country, and yet our poor people, like, we have fat. Poor people are fat, but that's not because they eat a lot. It's because they only have access to shit food. Go to the dollar store and see if there's anything in there that you think that is healthy, right? Like, this is like the cheaper stuff in the stores are always going to be the worst stuff for you. So it just boggles my mind that we don't, like, everyone has a yard, but we can't grow food in it. You know, you can't raise animals. Can't trade with each other and use a barter system. way you move around, I'd go DC to DC. Only takes 2 hours, really. Yeah, I definitely want to get a DC to DC. I'm gonna do both. I'm gonna do solar. I'm gonna also, I want to install shore power onto it. I think that would just be a converter. RVs use them quite a bit to have shore power, but 20 amp shore power converter that charges the batteries. So if I'm anywhere I can plug in, I can just build an outlet on somewhere on the van and plug right in. And then yeah, solar and driving and shore power. I don't know if there's any electricians in here, but what if I just hooked a battery tender up to the deep cycle batteries and then use that as shore power? There's got to be a reason that RVs use converters, but I don't know what that reason is. Maybe it's because they power their outlets with the onboard. Oh, that's the inverter. See, hello. I got a backup microphone. That sound died. Yeah, you guys got me back, right? You can hear me now, right? Can you hear me now? So here's my question. I was asking my friend Ben this before my live stream started. So we have phones and we have microphones, right? Zig sounds back. Hey, what's up, Mac? How's it going, dude? Welcome to the live stream. Sign language today. There's no sound. I can't read lips no more. Well, learn how to read lips. You got this, man. But I was thinking about this, right? Like, if we use phones and inside of it is a microphone, why do they sell us the phone? Why can't they just sell us the microphone? And it's just a smaller phone, right? It's a micro phone, and I have a phone, and like I feel like it's like a Russian nesting doll, like a hat on a hat, a doll inside of a doll, just a phone in a phone. It's just a smaller phone, a microphone. So just give me the microphone and leave the rest of it. Like it'd fit in your pocket better. Make phone calls on it, surf the web. Am I making sense? Probably not. Use a battery charger, shore charger, and have outlets too. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. I was either thinking, like, why don't RVs? Maybe they do. Maybe that's what a battery charger is. Hey, Alicia. You guys all know Alicia. Accidentally, Alicia right there. That is my friend over on the East Coast. And actually, I could tell you guys. I have other news I can't tell you, but you make sense. Thanks, Sharon. Even though I know I don't make any damn sense, I appreciate your support. Oh yeah, Mac, Alicia, you guys know each other. You guys have met. I am actually flying out at the end of this month to Boston to see Alicia. Alicia's gonna fly me out, and then there's gonna be an event I'm working while we're there. So maybe I could do a video. It's not that far from Salem, so maybe we could do a witchy video, right? Like maybe we can make a video about the witch trials or pretend like we're being hunted by witches. It'll be fun. But if you guys were in the Boston area, what would you like to see? Maybe not exactly Boston, but Kind of forgot what we were saying. And I was a few minutes behind, but I'm caught up now. I could easily merch store when I was in Reno. It's not so much setting up the store; it's setting up the art, um, and being able I don't know how to do fonts. Like what? I'm not a graphic fucking artist. You know what I mean? I'm good with networks, but I'm not good with graphic arts. But if I could make some like more logos and stuff, and managing like the merch store, as you probably know, that when you're selling a shirt, the background for your logo has to match the shirt color, or like you have no background. Anyways, like it becomes very tedious, monotonous thing that I'm not very good at. And I'm sure I'm making it like way harder than it needs to be. I have a short cord run outside connected to 6 plug surge protector inside. Yeah, that's what a lot of people do, just run an extension cord through the window. But I want it to be charging my batteries too. And I kind of want it to be set up with the solar system to just kind of always be there. So I need to do some research, figure out why they use a converter, and if I can just get away with a battery tender or a battery charger or something like that. And if I can, then I'll do that. But there's probably a reason that RVs use a converter and then charge their batteries with that. Like it basically turns AC into DC, which I understand, but that's what battery chargers do. I wonder if there's more to it than just that. I'm gonna have to do a little bit of digging. You guys got me for about another 10 minutes. It's good to see you, Mac. You still over there in Foy? You got a place up there, didn't you? I'm stoked about my fridge, you guys. For those of you who haven't been here in a minute, um, live streaming from a friend's house in Oregon. The fridge, oh, look at that. It's at 34 watts. Or I'm sorry, 34 degrees, right? 34. Does this have an onboard battery? I think it has an onboard battery. It might have an onboard battery, which if it does, you'll have to use a sine wave inverter with it. But something tells me, oh, no, now it's dead. Let me plug that back in. Why does it tell me 13 volts max full battery? That's interesting. I don't know if it's testing this battery or if there's an onboard battery in it. So I'm going to have to do some research. But on this thing, it's still powering the fridge, but the fridge isn't using any power. It's using 0 watts right now, which is up here in the top one. I'll turn off the USB there. And it used 3% of this battery to get to temperature. 3%. That's cool. Oh, that's actually really good news. So 3% of my big battery to put this thing to temperature. Now, I'm gonna warm it back up. Then I'm gonna plug it into AC power. I'm gonna turn it off. Open it. Oh yeah, that's cold. Like that's. Oh, it's got a light too, guys. It must have a battery if it's got a light, because the power's off. Like it's turned off, but the light's working. Wonder if it works to unplug it. Nope. Okay, so maybe it doesn't have a battery. That's just pass through power from the jackery from that. Power's passing through into the fridge. So wow, it's really cold in there. I'll just dump out the cold. Good. Just dumping out the cold. Don't mind me. Cold is dense. Cold air. Cold air is going to fall out of that. Yeah, it's a lot warmer in there now. Okay. Air it out, make it warm in here. Put it back on its end. Okay. Now let's turn it on and see what temperature it says. Should be higher than that. Probably take a second. Yep, it's already going up, 36. So then I'm gonna hook up the AC power and figure out how much power it takes when it's on the other plug. And by AC, what I mean is like your household alternating current power, 110, 120 volts. It's usually either 15 or 20 amps. I believe this battery gives me 15 amps at 110 volts. So I'm going to plug it in here to the fridge and then turn on that. All right, so battery's there. Then turn off the 12 volt outlet and then turn on the AC outlet. The AC outlet's the household power, right? Then I'm going to turn on the fridge right here. Oh. Okay, well, that's not turning on. Let me try this other outlet. Hold on. There we go. I think maybe this outlet doesn't work and only this one does. But that's okay. And it's on. It's not warmed up though. Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, it's not warmed up. Didn't get warm when I dumped it out. It got warm by like 4 more degrees, but it's not taking much. I'm gonna have to just let the fridge sit overnight. But 3%, 3% to get it to temperature. That's pretty sick. Pretty soon I'm gonna be doing a video putting my solar together, incorporating that fridge into the solar build, and I'm pretty excited about it. Like this will be well, but I'm actually mostly excited that it only took 3% from my big battery. Sorry, jeez, I forgot you guys were there. I only took 3% from my big battery. That I'm pretty stoked about. Anyways, you guys got any last questions? Has an onboard battery too. Does it? Because when I unplug that thing, it turns off. But you know what? I didn't try unplugging it, and then I didn't try unplugging it and then turning it on. So let's try that real quick. Yep. Let me shut off the power to it, and then hit the power button. Yeah, see, nothing happens. If I unplug it, yeah, if I unplug it, it doesn't turn on. I don't think it does have a battery, but there is a owner's manual here. I'm gonna read it. We'll find out. But it's nice. Yours got a drain on the bottom. That's kind of cool. Yeah, Mac, that is pretty cool. I don't even like buying coolers without the drain, because otherwise you gotta like tip over the whole cooler, leave the lid on, let the water come out. It's obnoxious. Having that drain is huge. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it has an onboard battery. I think it's just telling me my battery levels, to be honest with you. But I'm going to read this and see if it tells me on here. See you, Critter. Take care. Thanks for being here. I'm right behind you. The live stream's almost over, you guys. I appreciate everyone who came and supports me, all 7 of you on this live stream through thick and thin. You guys are always here. I appreciate the support very much. Sharon, I appreciate your Cash App donation. Remember, guys, you ain't got to be a bala to donate $1. And that dollar will be going towards food. So before I leave, I was going to show you Zag, but she ran into my friend's bedroom. She likes hanging out in there. They're all homies. So until next time, I have a fridge. Smiles the smiles.